All right, going down the line. Tanya, tell me, did you mark up the chart? Yes or no?
No, not yet.
All right, you got to do that early. Okay, so Fridays, Saturdays, those are the best days. Ziggy, stop. Sundays, you still got time. But the thing about it, guys, is the earlier you guys can mark up your charts, the earlier you're able to analyze it. That way, when things open up, you're ready to go. Like, which one looks best, where you have some big opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. And when the market opens, you kind of know exactly where to go, right? You know what I mean? How many times have you guys like shown up to like a new building or something like that, right? And you're trying to find out where you have to go, what room you got to get to that department, this department, right? It's always an issue, when you show up, because you show up at the time, around the time that you need to be at that place, but you don't really quite know how to get there, right? You know what I mean? You're asking around, hey, where's room 104? Boom, 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 right? And then eventually you get there. Hopefully you make it on time, but you're pressing against time at that point. Versus if you were to go and scope out the place, right, before your appointment, and you say, okay, I see where room 104 is, all right? So now when it's time for you to go there, you just go straight there, right? You don't waste any time, right? You probably get there super early, et cetera, and you're feeling more confident because you're not having that sense of, oh man, I'm not going to be able to find this room in time, and then I show up late, and then you got to go through whatever ordeal comes with that. All right, guys, it's about preparation and just being ready. Okay, so please mark up the charts as soon as you can. Right, it's not one of these things that I'm trying to get you guys. I'm trying to force you. Right, you know what I mean? Oh, you better mark up the charts. No, it's not like that. Right, it's just trying to help you guys understand that when you stay ready, right, you don't have to get ready. That's what that's all about. So, Tanya, what are your pairs? What's your favorite pairs?
Odd USD.
Odd USD. Okay, is that the only one?
And Euro USD.
Okay, what do you like about those?
Early morning for the Euro.
And about your odd?
Usually I try to look at that at nighttime.
Okay. Have they been doing you justice?
No.
Oh man, why not? What's been going on? Tell me about it, because again, this is what you come here for, right? I don't want to have you guys continuously showing up, but you're not getting anything, right? That's a big no-no for me. So I want to clear up whatever those issues are, whatever those hurdles are. So this is the time to talk about it. So again, let me know what's really going on with these pairs, like what's happening.
Well, I'll be honest, it's really me. I haven't been setting my alerts, and then when I was setting them, I wasn't putting notes of what I'm supposed to do. So by the time I looked, okay, what was I looking at on this again? So it's me.
Okay, but listen, everybody else needs to hear that. So I'm glad you said that. But guys, you get to see how it's just the little things, right? That's nothing major, right? She knows that's an easy fix, right? You know what I'm saying? But guys, when you don't do those simple little things, it really causes everything to just be thrown off, right? You know what I'm saying? And opportunities that you knew were in the air, now it's like nothing was there, right? You know what I'm saying? You want to avoid that as much as possible, guys. All right, so do those little things that you got to do. Don't have it where again you're like in some state of regret because you didn't do this or you didn't do that, right? So Tanya, you gotta tighten up. All right, you got to tighten up. That's a story I don't want to hear every single time. You know what I'm saying? Like the next time I hear from you, it's, oh yeah, I caught a nice play on odd or Euro, right? That's that thing that I want to hear. I made sure I did what I had to do, Bain, and I got everything straight now, right? That's what I'm wanting to hear. So yeah, definitely tighten up and don't keep this kind of thing that you got going on right now. Again, I know life, right? Things happen, and it throws you off sometimes, but got to get back on, got to get it together, and keep doing it. All right. So Nick, you got it. Nikki's next. Nikki, did you mark up the charts this week?
Okay, I had only been looking at Ethereum and then US oil.
Okay, and have you made any plays on them last week, or nothing was there?
Yeah, but I forgot what was my play, but anyway, it made a crazy jump, and like
oil?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
and you missed it, you said, or you got it?
No, I lost a lot of money. I don't know how in the world I forgot to put my stop loss in when I jumped in. Next thing I shot up.
Oh, so again, here it is. Here it is, guys. The testimonies.
Oh
right on time on a Sunday at that, right? I'm trying to tell you guys, this is what I really love, to hear you guys talk about your issues, talk about your mental blocks, and et cetera, because people are really missing this. Okay, these are those little things that really change the caliber of the type of trader that you are or are going to become, either one, right? But look at what she just said, guys. She forgot to put that stop loss, and out of all the things that could possibly happen, the worst thing happened, where price gapped up tremendously, and she was like, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!" Right? This could have been the first time she forgot to put her stop loss. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, right? It's a lesson, and understanding that when you're taking your trade, you better know where your stop loss is going to be before you take the trade, guys. And you better, and I tell you guys all the time, especially when we're live trading, I say, hey guys, let's go and put the stop loss number in right now. We'll put the take profit in later. because we all know take profit, that's us making money, right? So we don't really care if we even got to take profit in, right? But we absolutely need to stop the bleeding, right? If price goes against us, and you can only do that with a stop loss. So Nikki, I really hope that tightened you up.
Listen, I got my butt kicked on that one. So, but what was crazy is that how, so it happened, you know how whatever the market closed at 435, whatever, it was that time. But when that sucker opened right back up, it opened at 80. It was at 74, 75.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. And you know, again,
Learn your lesson. Yes.
thank you. Right. These are those same lessons I learned. I learned these. I was in your shoes. I had the same thing happen to me in the past, probably multiple times, to be honest with you, because I was an emotional trader, right? I was someone who was like, I got to get this. Like I have to get a win. I have to get a win. I have to get a win. Right. And so because of that, right, I would take trades during times that I shouldn't have been trading. The 4:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock time frame. I'm in there saying, oh man, this looks good. This looks good. And I feel like this gonna go up and that's gonna go down. I get in, and then of course 5 o'clock hits, the sessions change, the spreads open, I get kicked out, negative, you know, lost a lot of money every single time. But I always figured that one day I would catch these major moves in my favor. Long story short, didn't catch any of them, right? Always took an L, and again, it was, you know, only until I pretty much said, hey, something's up, right? It has to be a reason I keep losing, right? Again, a lot of you probably haven't even got there yet. Not you guys, but I'm just saying in general, like the time it takes to get to that point of saying, wait a minute, why am I continuously losing? Like it varies from person to person. Some people need to take only 2 or 3 losses and be like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, right? Some people need to take 300 before they like, hey, what's going on here, right? But you know, whatever amount of time it is for anybody, once you get there, that's the beginning. That's the beginning where you guys will notice, like I posted in the chat, you know, successful traders. It's like this mountain, right? And it just says on the top, hey, we wake up, we take a trade, we take profit. But underneath that is all the planning, it's all the strategy, it's all the testing, all the trades that you lost to see why you lost it, right? These are your hidden arts, if you will, or skills of trading, right, guys? It's not what you do when the market is open. You understand what I'm saying? It's what you guys do here on the weekends. It's how you guys come up, you know, in the sessions and you ask the questions for the issues that you're having, or you try to gain a better understanding of a certain concept, right, to where the light bulb comes on. That way you can mitigate all of the issues that you're having during the trading week, right? You go, okay, last week I was suffering with this. All right, I got with Bain, I asked him, boom, boom, boom. He said this, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now this week coming in, I'm going to see how this plays out by taking into consideration what he said, you know, incorporating it and then seeing what happens. That week goes by, you incorporate it, you see what happens, and now you realize, holy shit, it's night and day from what happened to me the previous week. And now, guys, right in that moment, that's where you tighten up. You don't let that go. You keep that. It goes in your strategy. It goes in your plan. It goes in your journal. Goes in your login, or it goes in your notes, wherever it needs to go. And you guys keep that for the next week coming up. You say, okay, this is what worked. This is what corrected that issue. I'm going to stick to this until something else comes about. But 9 times out of 10, guys, again, when you're sticking to a certain thing, things don't come about. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're going to take, you know, we got the fake outs and we got the stop hunts and all of those things, and, you know, just random wide spreads, things that happen in the economy that we really have no control over. Those things are always going to be. So of course you're going to take an L in some degree, right? But that's not an L off of your analysis. That's an L off an anomaly, right? That's where those L's come from. But when you're taking your wins, again, this is not talked about enough. When you guys are taking your wins, that's also tattletelling. Okay, that's also telling you something. It's telling a story. It's telling you that the strategy and the plan that you're using, it works. It really works. So why, you know, if it's not broke, right, don't fix it. Okay, guys, stick to the plan even when you lose. Somebody write that down in their notes. All right, this is recorded. You guys will have this and you can run it back. But write that down. Stick to your plan even when you lose, right? Because everybody loses, and then, you know, they lose hope, or they lose, you know, confidence, or they lose, you know, the will to continue fighting, whatever it is. Right? You guys get out of, you know, it's like you give up. It's like, oh man, I done did all this studying, I done marked up all these charts, and I done got in the market. First trade I took, I lost it. Oh damn! Like this, man, I don't know. I can't do this. If you got that attitude, I'm sorry. Okay, it's not gonna cut it. All right, this is y'all. You know, I'm y'all sergeant, and this is like boot camp, right? I'm not gonna have y'all crying and doing all of this stuff. Like if you don't want to be here, peace up, 8 town down. Right? You know what I'm saying? But if you like me and a lot of my members, right, who want to rock and roll, y'all want to get rid of, you know, some expenses, y'all want to take care of some things, y'all want to, you know, switch things up, and y'all really got, excuse me, something that y'all are going for, then, you know, let's do what we got to do. All right, guys. So that's just that. But yep, Nikki will definitely be making sure that she gets her stop loss in place. Latoya, it's your turn. Have you marked up the charts this weekend? And go ahead, Nikki, what you got, real quick. Sorry, Latoya, give it a second.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
What?
But no, I thought I raised my hand or something.
No, you did. Yeah, you
did.
I
did. My fault. And I didn't do.
Oh, okay.
But when you get to the charts, I do want you to look at oil for me. You know what I mean? So we can go over.
No, we can do it. We can do it right now. I'm on oil right now. Can you see? Can you guys see the chart?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can now.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what do you want to go over with it? I'm on a 2-hour time frame.
Okay. See, mine didn't look like that.
Are you sure you're looking at again? You know, because I'm on this different broker in regards to like what it shows on TradingView. Are you looking at it on TradingView?
Okay, I was on TradingView, and then you can see that huge gap. So
Right
and
here.
then when I put the Fibonacci on it, it looked like it looked like it's going to come down, but I'm not sure.
That's what I'm waiting for it to do, and that's what I've been talking about a lot. So here again, I have Fibonacci all the way down here at this low by support, and then I have the high. I took Fibonacci up to the high, which is really right in this area, right? So here's our golden zone, right? The 38, the 50, the 61. They all lie where within that big gap. Okay, so that's why if you guys have looked at like the previous live or even like my watch list or whatever, you guys will notice that I've been talking about it dropping because it's failing to break this high, even though it could, right? But at the moment, since it was rising and it's been here multiple times and it hasn't broken through, that's a sign to me. Okay, and it should be a sign to you guys as well, because I talk about that a lot. When you're reading market structure and you can't continue to say higher anything or lower anything, then there's a chance that you may have a possible reversal on the way. All right, and of course, because it created that gap, and a lot of times it wants to fill that gap. And this is again something that I'm not just saying because it sounds nice. This is something that I've seen 1,000 times. I've seen price gap up on the dollar. I've seen price gap up on gold, on oil, on indices, and et cetera, et cetera. And from each one of those times that I've seen the gap get created, I've seen it get fulfilled. Right. So I've seen that happen. Right. So it's not like I'm just going off of a hunch or something like that. Right. I'm going off of actual factual what really happened time and time and time and time and time again. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to understand that, because these are the things that only come to you over time. Right. So there's a difference between successful traders and non-successful traders. And one of the biggest differences is the amount of time. That person has been doing it for 5 years. You've just been doing this for 5 days. How in the world can you expect to be at their level? Right? If you're just being logical about it, right? You could think you're the best trader in the world because you probably figured it out in 3 days, right? But still, experience is experience, right? I joke all this time, a lot of times about, like a wood chopper or whatever, right? A young man, he comes out, he's trying to chop the wood, and he's just going at it, and he barely can chop, enough wood to stack up, right? Versus this old man, right? He looks like he's 90 years old, right? But he still got muscle. He's still walking up. He still got his wits about him and everything. He goes and get the hammer, axe, and then he has a certain technique that he uses. Then and in that one blow, he chops the wood completely in half, where it took the young guy like 3 or 4 swings, right? Yeah, the young guy is younger, more energy, more muscle, whatever the case may be, right? But the old guy has experience. He has the knowledge. He noticed that over all those times when he used to hit it 2 and 3 times, that he wasn't really giving it a high swing. Maybe he was just bringing it to like his chin and then, just trying to chop it like this. He wasn't really bringing it up and then making it come down like Thor, right? He wasn't doing that. Or maybe, he was putting his back too much into it, or whatever the case may be. He realized these things over time, guys. So again, just trying to get to the moral of the story is that you guys need to put in time, right? As much time as you possibly can. The more days that you guys can get on these charts, mark them up, trade them, and see what happens, the more the experience and the knowledge is going to come together. And again, Nikki, you're going to be like, you know what? I've seen these gaps happen a million times. I'm going to go ahead and, get me an order set up. I'm going to set myself up to where I'm going to be able to take advantage of it filling that gap at some point in time. And then you will be surprised, but you won't be surprised. You understand what I'm saying? You're like, oh, yeah, that's how it's been going. So, this easy money. That's how that's like. But yeah, so that's what I'm expecting, right? I'm same deal. But again, I'm prepared, right? If it breaks out above, you just got to know what the scenarios look like and try to align yourself. All right, guys. So please don't just take one side. Okay. This is an easy game, right? We play it like chess, but eventually it ends up being checkers in a way, right? Where it's just up or down, right? You know what I'm saying? Checkers, what you do, this square or that square, right? Whatever. It becomes simple. But again, over time and understanding basic concepts, right? And then coupling all of that with the possibilities of where it's going to go. This is just a game of probability, guys. I say it all the time, right? We're trying to say it's going to go up or it's going to go down. All right. If we say it's going to go up, what do we have telling us that it's going to go up? If we say it's going to go down, what are those factors that we have telling us that it's going to go down? If we say it's going to go up, do we have a lot of things saying that it's going to go up? We do. Okay, boom. That sounds great, right? I like that probability, right? Right now, in Miami, it kind of looked like it's going to rain, right? But if I can call up, 10 friends and I say, hey, is it raining at your house? And I know they all live. And I say, hey, is it raining over at your house? And they're like, yeah, it's raining over here. Call another friend, hey, it's raining over there. Yeah, it's raining over here. I call about 6 of them, right? And they say it's raining in their house versus the other 4. They say it's not raining at their house. Well, what's the probability of it probably going to rain at my house when I know they're all close to me? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a high probability. So I'm going to go with the chance of, getting outside, but making sure I got my umbrella just in case, right? I'm not going to go out there non-prepared, or I'm going to go against the odd. Right? I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to go to the beach and, everything going to be all good. Nope. I go to the beach and it start raining. It's because I went against the odds. Those are the trades that I hate, right? Like when I lose, it's the trades that I know I went against the grain, right? And I lost it. You know, those are the ones that I'm just like, you know, why, right? But it happens, okay? Because again, after you get skilled, you know about both phases, right? The run and the pullback. Sometimes you try to catch the pullback, but it just, you know, it's shortened. You know, it's not as, it doesn't live as long as you thought it was going to live, and then it turns around and goes in the direction of the trend. And when you get burned enough by that, that's where you start sticking to the trend more than you do trying to catch the pullbacks. But eventually, somewhere down the line, you will start to catch, you know, still try to catch those pullbacks because you'll see the opportunity there. And sometimes those pullbacks are also, I mean, actually turn into reversals. So then you really have a leg up, right? But again, guys, just everything in time, right? You know what I'm saying? You guys want to get skillful. You want to get your skills up, and you want to feel way more confident when you're trading this. Like, just show up. It's easy equation. Just show up, guys. Mark up the charts. Show up, trade, do demo, right? You're so scared of that live account and whoop, whoop, right? Do demo. Just show up. Guys, give it a month. Give it 1 month. Just show up 1 month. Mark up the charts. Show up. Take the trades. Mark up the charts. Show up. Take the trades. Confidence through the roof. Okay? Confidence will go through the roof, right? To the point where you'll just switch over to the live account, take everything that you've took with the demo account, just slide on over to the live account. And same old thing is going to be happening. Nothing changed but the account type. Okay, so that's that. But go ahead, tell me about your markups. Did you mark anything up? What's your favorite pairs?
No, I haven't marked anything up, and as of right now, I don't have a favorite pair.
Okay.
I just got my demo account open and situated. I think it was Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
So I'm still watching your videos. I haven't even been birthed yet. I'm still in the womb.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Some ways to go.
And I understand that completely. What do you think? Do you think you might have a favorite pair, just from what you're seeing other people trade or hear about or anything like that? Do you think you got something that you might
did
be
push the
interested in?
buttons on Friday.
Okay.
And it was a British pound and a Japanese yen.
Okay. You sold it?
In demo. Yes. Yep.
Okay. How did that turn out?
It's still open right now. It's up 16 cents.
Okay. All right. You took out a micro? Did you take out a micro lot?
1,000 lot?
Yeah, that's a micro. Yeah, 1,000 units. That's a micro lot. Yeah. Did you take that out? Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell you right now. Stop taking out the micros. Take out the standard. All right, because you're in a demo account. So nothing's going to hurt, and I want you to get the feel of what that will look like. So yeah, on a micro lot, that's 16 cents, right? On a mini lot, that's like $1.60, and then on a standard lot, that's like $11 or something like that, roughly, or maybe $16. But take out the standard lots instead of the micro lots, so you can really see that a lot of times, you know, you catch 15 pips, right? That's $150, right? And then you can easily close out the trade, and you'll see that it probably happens super quick. So you make $150 a day, $200 a day. Come on now, right? You know what I'm saying? That's good. All right. So change that, you know, right out the gate. I know you're still in the womb, but that's an easy fix. All right. Start taking out standard lots. Now, as far as the pairs are concerned, again, you'll figure out what you probably will like to trade more as time goes by. So I'm not really worried about that. Like you not having a favorite right now, that's understandable because you just jumped in. But one of the things that I do, want to know is, hold on a second. All right, don't know what happened to that. But one of the things I do want to know is how has the videos been? So you say you've been watching some of the videos and you know, just trying to get acquainted in that regard. So have they been informative? Have you been able to follow through with what was being said, et cetera, et cetera? Talk to me about that.
Yes, to all of it. The only thing I will say, I don't know, my brain kind of does stuff a little different, so I'll have to watch it definitely more than once. I have had a clearer picture of, I didn't know what market structure was, the divergence, and a lot of stuff that you talk about in the trainings. A lot of stuff that you talk about in the trainings was not clear to me. Like I'll get bits and pieces here and there, so it definitely cleared that up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit. So I'll keep watching and keep coming, you know, the class and the trainings until it starts to stick. So, but yes, definitely understanding stuff a lot more.
Very nice, very nice. And I'm assuming you're taking your notes and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. But that is good to hear. You're just like me. Again, I know I seem like I got it all together, right? But I was like you, where I needed to watch everything twice, probably more than twice, right? Just looking back, I can tell I wasted a lot of time for that reason. Like I could have gotten done, you know, I could have gotten more content. I could have studied more. I probably could have took more notes in a shorter time frame if I didn't go back and go over it and over it and over it and over it. But again, I'm not telling you not to do that because I did it, and you have to do it, because what that's really all about is not that you want to do it 3, 4, 5 times. It's because the light bulb hasn't came on for you yet. So you're trying to make that light bulb come on, and that's what you're noticing you're having to do. You know what? Like I listened to it. You know, I'm almost there. I think I got it, but I got to hear it one more time. All right, let's go back. Start from the beginning. Okay. All right, I did the boom, and then okay, you say do it like that. Okay. Boom.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it happens. And then I'm able to kind of rewrite the script in my brain and it sticks.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So
There you go. So I'm not against that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know that that is normal. All right. For a lot of us who are like that, right? You know, we're birds of a feather in that regard. And there's other people that are the same way. And then you have those people, all they need to do is hear it or see it one time and they got it, right? You know what I mean? We're all wired differently. But just know, as you're going over it and over and over it, you may be able to like speed up the video, right? I do that a lot to try to just listen. You know, it forces you to listen because everything's being said so fast, right? So, you know, maybe you'll be able to hang with that, maybe not, I don't know, but just try it out. You know what I'm saying? And see how that's like. And it's only because it cuts down the time, right? It's not that you're going to miss out on the information that you're looking for. It just makes it where you're not spending an hour on it. You're spending 30 minutes on it, right? You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things. I've been able to incorporate that, has helped me a lot. All right. So it could for you as well. But yeah, keep going, right? And you will be where you need to. All right. Martez, my man, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. How was the weekend so far?
Man, pretty good, pretty good. A little busy. You know, it's Easter and it's my grandma's birthday today, so I'm just out running around for her.
I hear that. Happy birthday to grandma, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
How old is she now? Do you know, like, if she's, you know, she's up there or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's 83.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, man. I just told, you know, I was talking to my kids about my dad and everything. You know, he was born in the 30s, so you know he's lived a lifetime, right?
Yeah,
you know And that's you know I love to you know, try to hear from people who've been around that long. You know what I mean? Because because we're all headed in that direction, right? So any little tips and tricks they can give me, you know, I'm gonna put them in my back pocket and you know, try to run with them as I you know, start crossing those bridges. But you know, shout out to her, man. You know, making another year. That's what's up.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I'll definitely pass the message along to you. But you definitely right, though. She's got a lot of wisdom. I talk to her all the time. It's just a lot of wisdom for sure.
Nice, man. So you know, in regards to marking up the charts and everything, did you do that this week, or you know, talk to me about that?
Yeah, you know, I've really been focusing on 3 pairs. 2 of them I kind of sent you my markups. Remember I sent you the EJ and then NAS. So I really just on my own look at US 30, EJ, and NAS.
Got you. Nice. Guys, you know what I love about what he just said? He know exactly which ones he looks at, right? You know what I'm saying? So EJ, US 30, and NAS. Guys, when you have your pairs, this is another little thing that brings you more confidence, cuts things down where you're not wasting a lot of time going over here, going over there, because you know, you're just trying to have fun with every pair. Yeah, you know, and then you end up not really getting nowhere, right? Bringing it down to a smaller size and just focusing on those, you're gonna have way more confidence because you're gonna start to learn how they move, learn how, you know, what they do, right? You know what I'm saying? And again, guys, you can just test this to real life, right? You're dating every single day, right? You're not really gonna get to know a person like that, right? Versus if you say, okay, I'm gonna hang with you, you know, for the rest of the 6 months or whatever the case may be, you're gonna learn a lot more about that individual, right? Versus, you know, the other scenario of you know, just constantly mixing it up. So big time you know, thing for you to have pairs that are like your go-tos, you know, your everyday go-tos, no matter what. Just makes you more familiar with them, makes you have a better feeling like you're not trying to scramble for something, right? You know what I mean? Not all over the place. It's really a beautiful thing. But Martez, man, I wanted to point out, did you notice on the EJ, you know, how we did our analyst and I said, man, I'm not gonna sell it just yet because it went back up into the zone and woo, woo, woo. If you take a look at the EJ, I'm not looking at it now, but last time I checked, it still was respecting support, and I think it even shot up some more, right? And that goes to show you, right, how like my experience of seeing that over and over gave me the ability to tell you why I wouldn't sell it at the time that we were thinking about selling it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Man, perfectly. I said that same thing. I was watching. I'm like, and you know, that's exactly how you know the difference. Because I'm looking at it like, man, I can get this money. This done checked out for me like 3 times already, and it did exactly what you said. I was like, man, I'm so glad I waited.
There you go, bro. You see what I'm saying? And again, that's the superpower that only time can give you guys. Okay, I am not some you know, some real superhero, right? You understand me? But I've been able to harness this artificial superpower from time, guys, showing up day after day after day after day after day after day after day, right? To the point where, guys, it feels, you know, it's like, it's really not boring, okay? But I have to use the word boring. It's boring at times. You know what I'm saying? It's like that bodybuilder who says, man, I hate eating chicken and broccoli, you know, every fucking day, right? It's because, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But look at his body though, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the boring that I'm going to take because I know what the results are going to yield me. You understand what I'm saying? And again, guys, it's all it's a mental thing. If you guys aren't really, you know, going to line yourself up for this long haul, right, then you're not gonna get to where you want to get to. All right, that's just a long story short, right? You guys want to really get somewhere, just come on and show up. Just put this time in. Just put this time in. It's a gift. We all know it, right? Martez's grandma, she got a new gift today, right? You understand what I'm saying? Another year, right? Breathing, enjoying, you know, whatever she can enjoy. Guys, it's precious. All right, I ain't trying to waste it. I don't know about y'all, but y'all know how I get down. All right, so that's that. But cool. So we'll take a look at. We'll probably swing back on NAS, and actually let's look at it real quick. Yeah, so I talked about it. If you guys watched the watch list video, I posted yesterday. But Nas, you know, it's still bullish. All right, we got break of structure here. We got a gap that it created. It's respecting it, and now we got a candle that's, you know, bullish. And looks like it wants to continue to rise. It's just that it's in this little area of resistance. So we may get, you know, like some playing around before it, you know, either continues rising or maybe just does another little pullback, or even start falling. Right, you never really know. Right, but still, that's what I see on the Nas, Martez. I don't know if that's what you saw as well, but that's, you know, just kind of what I'm looking at. And then for US 30, again, you know, this rising wedge is a bearish reversal pattern. I think it was Kev last week who pointed out that this is a possible bearish flag. You know, he just went off of the poll right here, and then how it's forming the flag for this rising channel. And I told him, yeah, you know, typically for a bearish flag, I would rather see price come down like this, create the flag, right? Create the flag like that, and then go ahead and break out of it like this. Versus this is what it's doing, like it came up, all right, and then it came down, and then it created the flag like this. Okay, so what the different scenario is you guys can see night and day. This is us coming down first versus us coming up and then down, right, to kind of create that flag. So that's why I'm just a little weary about it dropping, because it's not what I'm used to typically seeing when I see this type of chart pattern play out, right? That's what makes me a little weary. But if I just cut this off right here, then I have exactly what I have over here. And that's what I told him, you know, hey, you know, good eye for being able to spot this flag like this, because we're definitely at a level of confluence right here, right? The trend line of the channel, the resistance area of the zone, major wick rejection, and then of course the pattern itself, right, being a bearish flag pattern. So I like it for a sell, I really do. But you know, I have my, you know, feelings about it because it's not the typical type of flag that I'm used to seeing. So with the dollar falling also, which I think is going to do this week, it typically causes the US 30 to rise, right? So all of those things are some things. But go ahead, Martez, what you got, bro?
Man, you brought out raise my hand. You just touch on about. I was just gonna say, like, what would you expect? Because, you know, I don't know if you heard about, like, the other major countries kind of like about to stop trading with the dollar.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on it. So BRICS, yeah, you know, they've all decided, you know, to for the most part, you know, trade in their currency for the one, and that's why, you know, I have you guys kind of taking a look at USD CNH. I think it's CNH or CHN, one of those, to try to take advantage of what you just mentioned. But in regards to the Dow Jones, so the Dow Jones was I think like the top companies. All right, S&P is the top 500. NASDAQ is the top technology companies, and the Dow is the top. Oh man, I forget right now. I want to say it's just the top
30.
top 30. Yeah,
30
there it is.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right, the top 30. And when I think of that, right, Martez, so when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, you know, what do those type of companies, how are they affected by this, you know what I'm saying, by this currency, you know, with BRICS demanding this other currency versus, you know, if that wasn't the case, if they weren't doing that. So I'm just trying to piece together how the demand for the yuan would affect, you know, companies that are in the US 30. But to be honest with you, right, even though they're in the mix of doing this, it's not set yet. And the dollar's Debo, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the dollar is on top, and it's going to be hard to just overthrow the dollar. Like it's not a thing that's going to happen overnight. You know, we probably all hear it. You know, we're hearing about it so much, and we think that it's just going to happen right now. Like, you know, by the time we start trading this week, the dollar is going to lose all its value. And it won't be that reserve currency anymore. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to take some time for the dollar to be dethroned. And then, you know, the structure, you know, that power structure from a financial standpoint shifts over to the yuan or BRICS or whoever, you know, whatever it's going to be. That's going to take some time. So to me, I'm looking at it as if the dollar is unaffected at the moment, right? So if the dollar is unaffected, you know, how does the US 30 normally move in that regards? Right now, if the dollar was affected, right, you know what I'm saying? If I could tell that, you know, that demand in the yuan has been, you know, increasing dramatically, then, you know, I'm going to be looking at this a little different. And then I'm going to be trying to say, you know what, because, you know, these companies that are in the US 30, they used to be dealing with, I mean, they were dealing with dollars with, you know, all of their trade and transactions and, you know, what they have going on with their financials. But now they're having either a hard time accessing, you know, trading their dollars for the yuan or whatever the case may be. And it's affecting their productivity as a company to where they're either not being profitable, they can't make certain things, they can't, you know, do ABC, XYZ. Then I will start to think, okay, you know, the US 30 is really going to tank, or it's going to go, you know, whatever my analyst leads me to, right? But it's hard to speculate right now, bro, because as much as we're hearing it, it's still in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's not set in stone. I know they've signed bills and, you know, agreed, you know, to do all of this stuff, but we haven't really seen the effects of it just yet, right? You know what I'm saying? It kind of reminds me of like how when COVID started, man, I remember talking to coworkers and I was like, can you believe people are riding around with masks on their face? Like, that's crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, it was like a joke, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just like people are being hysterical, they're being over the top. You know, everybody got their mask on, they got face cover. You know, people coming in looking like, you know, like the radioactive cleaning crew or something like that, right? And you know, we're just looking at these people like, man, some people are just so weird. You know, they're just going overboard with it. And then the next thing you know, everybody's wearing masks and everybody's taking precautions and, you know, boom, 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 the cleaning companies coming in and out, spraying everything down and boom, boom, boom. And now we got all these protocols. We got, you know, our cubicles are moved. We can't be so many people in the elevator, blah, 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 right? Everything was going on. But that's when COVID had, you know, when it had actually became a blah, 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 a thing. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, again, like the beginning of this BRICS and the whole yuan and a different currency, it's like that beginning stage of COVID, right? We kind of, you know, some people are putting on masks and, you know, some people are getting ready and, you know, some people are disowning the dollar right now, right? That's happening right now. But I know that it's not at that stage where it's serious. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, yeah, we got to do something about our dollar. Now, there's something I'm going to post it that you guys really need to watch. And it's in regards to that on how you guys can prepare yourself for when the dollar is dethroned, right? But until then, bro, you know, I'm sticking with the dollar, right? You know what I mean? In regards to, you know, finances or whatever, but I'm, you know, I got my ear to the streets and I know what's going on. So whenever I need to adjust, I will adjust. And let me just throw this out there to you. Again, this is for everybody. The charts always tell you, okay? I know it seems like we got to be more complex about what we're doing here in Forex when we hear all this major economic news. But to be real with you, bro, the charts normally show you what's going to happen. And then the news just kind of, again, sets it on fire. You know what I'm saying? So if you're somebody who, again, I know you are, is able to read the chart and understand market structure and technical analysts, you've already lined yourself up for how things are going to play out on the US 30. It's just now once things get official, you've already been in the mix and you take advantage of the whole move while everybody else is kind of wondering, damn, Martez, how did you do that? And you're gonna be like, I just read the chart, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, man, you must have had some inside information on BRICS, man. You got some people over there, they giving you tips and tricks. They told you to do this and do that. Nope. I just read the chart, right? It becomes comical, bro. All right, but that's where I'm at, you know, with the dollar as far as, I mean, you know, with all that news as far as it's concerned, you know, I'm sticking to the charts, bro. They haven't let me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool, man. I appreciate your insight on that.
You got it, bro. You got it. But yeah, that's what I see on those, man. Let's go, Chris. It's on you, bro. Have you marked up the charts this weekend?
Hey, what's up, Bain? Yeah. Wait, give me one second.
Gotcha. It's all good.
Yeah, I got a couple charts marked up. Usually I follow all the pound pairs and also follow all the JPY pairs.
Okay. All right. You got any reason? Any particular reason?
Oh, yeah, I think it's mostly because you know, by the time I put in the order, you know, in the morning, whether it's like 5, 6, 7 o'clock, by the time, you know, by the end of the day, there's significant movement. That's what I've noticed, you know, in the past couple, like 2 to 3 weeks that I've been trading.
And again, guys, listen to what he's saying. You don't get this anywhere else. All right. You don't get this kind of insight, right? Where real traders or people who are really trading, what they're going through, what they're experiencing, what they notice. Guys, he's saying he trades the pound pairs and the yen pairs because what he's noticed is from the time that he's been trading it in the morning, right? By the time the day begins, or, you know, we're probably midday, it's made the move, guys. So if you guys have been wondering what pairs are going to give you that type of scenario, there you have it, right? Guys, this is the whole reason we actually come together, right? It's not just the, you know, trend lines and market structure, woo, right? These are all the extra little details that really make a difference. You understand what I'm saying? So again, Chris, thank you for that. But, you know, guys, take that as a little note or a little piece of something that you want to, you know, put down somewhere and say, you know what, I'm going to take a look at these pound and JPY pairs around, you know, early morning, because I'm up early morning, you know, I can do it or whatever the case may be and see what that's looking like, right? You may now fall in love with the pound JPY, right? A 2 for 1, right in that, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you'll just be trading that one pair and you'll be making a killing, and then people won't be able to understand it, right? They're trading 30 pairs and they nowhere near where you are. It's because you've made more with less, and you've gotten familiar with it over time, right? You've seen the movie over and over again. The movie is going up or the movie's going down or sideways. So you've seen that movie a million times. Now you know how to play it, guys. And then you get more and more confident each and every time. Then you get my artificial power, right? Of that psychic ability, right? So Miss Cleo, she flows through me, you know, just whenever she wants, right? Because I've had that time. But you know, that's huge, Chris, that you pointed that out. And again, I'm gonna take it, you know, your favorite pair is probably the GJ, but what's your favorite pairs? Like your go-tos?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I made 2 successful trades so far on the Euro JPY.
All right.
And like I find myself, you know, looking at the pound dollar a lot. So like pound dollar and
I like the pound
pound
dollar.
JPY. Yeah.
So have things been coming together for you where you feel confident in what you're doing? So you understand the concepts, you know, price action, market structure, all those things. Are they, you know, at that level for you where you're like, okay, yeah, I definitely got this and I understand this?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, you know, I mean, I'm learning more and more. But I think, you know, I think, you know, like my thing is, you know, is always like what I do, you know, when I'm at a resistance level, you know, whether it's gonna go down or, you know, whether it's gonna go up, and you know, and I think more and more, you know, I'm saying I just realize that it takes patience. I just have to, you know, wait, and basically follow, you know, price action, and see if, you know, if the bears are gonna come or the bulls are gonna come, or even if it goes through, you know, I'm saying, is there gonna be a pullback, or that's just that's just what I'm learning, and that takes some time.
Absolutely, bro. Man, I'm so happy. It's dead, boo boo. You want my juice? Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. 1 moment. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, Chris, big time, bro. Big time, man. Like, so many people are in, and look, the US 30 is again in that same scenario you just talked about, being at a resistance area and realizing that you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to break above. You don't know if it's going to reject it and start falling down. So what you've noticed is that because you understand market structure, price action, all the meat and potatoes, right? Come on. Say what's up, everybody. Say what's up. Hey, say hi. Say hi, boo boo. Say hi. You can say hi. I know you can talk. So yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen. What you're realizing is that over time, it is forcing you to be patient, to see what happens. Right, guys? I'm telling y'all, if you ever want to know if you're good at trading, ask yourself, are you just waiting? Right? If you're just waiting, you're good at trading. Period. But if you're just trading, you're not good at trading. Right? But if you're waiting all the time, you're good at trading. That's your other note, guys. Write that down as that major realization thing in regards to trading anything really. If you catch yourself waiting a lot more than you catch yourself hitting the button, you're good at trading, because you know that it takes patience, and you know that the chart hasn't shown you what you need to see in order for you to take the trade. So you're just constantly waiting. Oh man, sometimes it seems like forever, right? For you to see enough bearish pressure to come from resistance, sometimes it'll take a week, right? Sometimes it'll take 3 or 4 days. But once you get it, oh man, you about to kill it, because that's usually just how it plays out, guys. Come on, that's just usually how it plays out. So that is again something that I'm super happy you're recognizing, Chris, is that you need to be patient and you need to wait for what you need to see before you take the trade. It will always work out when you do that, right? Now, don't get me wrong, right? There's still going to be times where you're going to take it because you feel like it's going to go in this direction or go in that direction, and sometimes you win them, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing. There's no better feeling than knowing that you waited for something, that you needed to see something, and then you took it, and then it played out. Same for what me and Martez were talking about in regards to the Euro JPY, right? He wanted to take it for a sell, but I said, hey, we don't have what we need yet, and we need to wait some more. And all last week, past week, the Euro JPY went up. So he was like, man, I'm glad I didn't get in. I'm glad I checked with you, and I didn't get in yet, because he would have not that his account would have been blown, or he would have lost a whole lot of money, but he would have been down, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So then here it is. Now that we've waited for all of this movement that happened this week, and we didn't get to see what we needed to see. Once we do see what we need to see on the Euro JPY, okay, sorry guys. Once we do see what we need to see on the Euro JPY, and then we take the trade, and that thing tanks to the floor, that feeling is amazing. And it's all because we knew that we just needed to be patient. So, Chris, again, man, salute, and my hat off to you for being at that stage and at that level, because that is a major key, bro. Major key. No worries. All right. My man, Kev, what's up, bro? Kev, you be having me dying 24/7, bro. I'll be laughing all the time with you, man. But what's going on with you? Kev, you talking on mute, bro.
Hello.
All right, I hear you now.
What up, Bain?
What's happening?
Not much.
So how was the weekend?
It's all right.
It's all right.
I didn't do any charges. I've been playing in the backyard.
Okay. Now I know you're going to the work.
Yeah.
What about your pairs? Any favorite pair?
No. More so, to be quite honest, usually for me is like Nas, Dak, and really, to be quite honest, the Russell, because I don't really do Forex. Although I've been thinking about going over to it, I try to do futures.
Okay.
So it's not really with the pairs. It's just with oil or gold and Nasdaq, ES, and so forth. I like to go, but it'd be playing too many games or whatever. Too many times, man. It ain't loyal at all. It'll slap you real quick.
Oh yeah. So no, that's still good. I'm gonna mute you for a second while I'm talking. All right, but that's really good. That you're still trading futures that are lined up with some of these Forex indices.
Yes. It's just so different or whatever because of price or whatever.
That's right.
Price is so different.
Were you trading them last week?
No, I didn't trade anything last week. No.
How do you feel your skills are and confidence? How is it like nowadays?
Need work still. I still need to put in more time as far as the charts and need work. I'm not one where I'm scared to pull the trigger. I'll pull the trigger too much or whatever. So I need to learn to pull it a little bit less or whatever.
That's right.
It gets me in trouble a lot of times. And like you all were just talking about, and somebody before I met you, which they say you take with a grain of salt what everybody says, but that I was doing some future stuff with. They would always mention a lot of times, like you just mentioned, like more times you're going to spend more time waiting on the trade to come than you're going to actually be in the trade.
That's right.
So if you're always in a trade or whatever, then something's wrong.
And I'm glad you mentioned that again. Touches right into. Let me mute you for a second. Just touches right into again, less is more, right? Just being able to see that, man, I'm pulling the trigger too much, and I'm kind of all into this and all into that. Guys, that is a positive thing for you to recognize that, right? And eventually you will adjust and you will start taking less and less trades, because you will know that something is just off. You feel like you're chasing something, right? You don't really feel like you're waiting for something. You understand what I'm saying to you guys? So again, that's a big time realization, Kev, where the moment you start to work on it more, you're going to eventually get down to taking less trades, and those trades that you take, even though they're less, they're going to be way more quality, right? So you'll switch over from having this quantity issue that you were dealing with to now being in the quality state where it's only 1 or 2 good trades that you just happen to be in all week, but they absolutely banged, and you're just like, man, that was too easy, right? Before I used to think I needed 15 pairs to make this money. Now I realized all I needed was 2 really good setups, and that did the trick. So that's huge, bro. But yeah, anything else you want to say? You can go ahead and unmute. Stop it, boo boo.
No, that's pretty much for me. Again, I got too wild because I'm on the West Coast, so, and then getting out going for work, I got like about 30 good minutes, 45 minutes, before
To try to get
something in or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just trying to do too much or whatever. I'm getting clapped a little bit too much. So let me chill for a second or whatever.
Absolutely. I'm with you, bro. But I like it. You're figuring it out.
Yeah.
All right, D, what's up? It's your turn.
Hey,
What up?
man. So, I don't have a favorite pair, but
Mhm.
I do want to say last week was the actual. And I've been rocking for a little minute. I'm still a newbie, but I've been rocking for a little minute. And for some reason, last Sunday's class, it was kind of like an epiphany to me about not being afraid to go ahead and pull the trigger. Like, I've been paper trading for a while. You gave me some homework. I loaded up my account, and I still hadn't made a trade. I will practice marking up the charts, and I'll do well, but I still hadn't made a trade.
Right.
And so something kind of hit. 2 things hit me. Was like, okay, go ahead and just do it. Like, step out there, do it. Got to take a trade at some point. You can't paper trade all your life. What's the purpose?
Right.
And so I did. And it was the gold trade you did, right? So, and the only reason that made me take it is because I'm still trying to familiarize myself with Hanko trade. Like, Forex.com is kind of a lot easier, especially because I connected to my trading view. But Hank was like, so I said, I'm gonna try. Let me just place this. I don't know what made me try on that one, but of course we hit. And I was like, okay, my first trade, I made profits, yay. But then another thing you mentioned on Sunday about setting alerts, and I think that's another thing for me because I work during the day. But I get up early mornings, and then in the evenings I always break for me. But sometimes when you're marking up the chart, that waiting game of waiting for it to hit the point that you want. So a lot of times I'll have my charts marked up, but I never set an alert for it to say, hey, go back and look at it. I just think, okay, on my lunch break, I'll look at it. When I have a moment, I'll look at it. And sometimes it's past the part that I marked up, and it may go into profit because, I predicted the trade like in TradingView. And so when you said it last week about making sure you set your alerts, like I went into TradingView and I started making sure that my alerts are set up where I understand them that way. If it comes across my watch, if it comes across my phone, I know what, I'm looking at. And so I didn't trade anything else with a lot of the news that came out last week, but I did get a lot of my alerts and triggers, and I was able to go back and look and say, okay, had I taken this trade, it would be in profit right now, or it did go in my direction. So this week, I definitely feel a lot more confident that when I'm marking up the charts now to go ahead and place trades, or at least a few more. So I was happy this week for that.
Very nice. Listen, man, I love these kind of stories. It is always that, that issue you were having until now. Hey, I got rid of that issue. I see where that mistake was, and I've done something to correct it. I love this stuff, right? When you guys talk like this, because again, I know what that means for you. Even if you don't really know what that means for you, right? I know that means you are tightening up all of those little loose ends, okay? And by the time you know it, like you got on a full Catwoman suit, right? Just badass, right? And you are killing the market because you took care of all those little tiny little things, guys. And everybody has touched on it, right? From not having a stop loss, right? To taking too many trades, right? To not being patient, right? To taking or having too many pairs, right? We've touched on everything, guys. And it is such a beautiful thing for you guys to all feed off of each other and take, what someone else is going through as a mistake, and not even having to really go through it, but just learn from them and what they went through, and just know, okay, well, shit, I ain't gonna move my stop loss. I ain't gonna have price gap. I mean, I'm not gonna get into a trade without having a stop loss set. I don't want price to gap up on me and then blow my account. Oh, no. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Whoever was saying that, right? You know what I'm saying? Those are the things, guys, that really get you guys to level up. All right. So that's tremendous. All right. I'm glad you got that epiphany, moment to where it's like, you know what? Don't. Let me hop in the fire, right? Because again, I've been preaching it to you, but you ain't gonna never know. Right? You ain't gonna never know what could be, what could have been, what should have been, blah, 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 right? You're not gonna know until you do it. So you can stay scared all your life, right? And then, something happens to you. I'm not gonna wood, God forbid nothing does, but I'm just saying, right? You know what I mean? If you were looking at yourself, if I keep watching Back to the Future, and then it's ironic they're gonna make a rerun, but Back to the Future, Marty goes to the past, and then, he can kind of see how things were starting with, how they're gonna probably turn out, as in the future. If you could see your past self, right? Your future self paying to see your past self, right? You'll be looking at your past self trying to say, take the trade, take the trade. Like you'll be trying to yell and put all little hints and stuff like that, because your future self knows that once you started to do that, that's when everything changed, right? You hopped over that fear, and it wasn't even as scary. I'm telling you, it's in your mind. D, it's in your mind. I promise you. I promise you, it's in your mind. Once you start taking those trades, you're gonna be like, what the hell was I so scared of? Why didn't I take that trade before? What was holding me back? What was I really scared of? Because there was nothing to be scared about. It was just in your head. You feel me? So again, big time kudos for, you know, getting over that hump. All right, that's a huge hump. Right, and then on top of, you know, adding your alerts to keep you in the mix, right, where you can live your life, but you check the chart when you need to, right, and then you don't miss those opportunities, right? You're saying, oh, I'm gonna check it when, you know, when I get a chance. Oh well, too bad the trade done already took off, and you know you missed out on the band. And like, oh shit, like that's those feelings. I swear, those be the worst ones when you're right, but you're wrong because you didn't do what you're supposed to do to be able to take advantage of the trade, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like those hurt, right? And those are the ones, or those are the like scenarios again that I'm trying to get everybody to avoid, which is why we, you know, we get these gems when we come together, guys, and you guys will just really see it all pays off. Showing up, marking up the charts, keeping less is more, looking for the quality over the quantity, right? Make sure your stop losses are set, right? Trading at that certain time, right? Setting your alerts, right? Jumping, taking the trade when you see it, you know, it's looking good. All of those things, it's going to have you guys like, man, I got this, right? Y'all be feeling all good, you know, do your thing, and it's just going to be like, man, why didn't I just do this before? Why was it so hard? But you know, I'm pushing you, right? Pushing each and every last one of you guys to just please keep going, keep at it. Incorporate these little things that you guys are learning and watch what I tell you. It's going to seem like taking candy from a baby, guys. Just all we doing, taking chances on direction, right? Probability, right? All my dogs said it's going to rain, or it's raining at their spot. They close by me. I'm going to say it's going to rain too. Next thing you know, it's raining in my neighborhood. I feel good about that because I made a prediction based off of things that were already telling me that this was a high probability. That's how the story goes, guys. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, big time. Shout out for that, D. Luther, spotlight is on you, bro. Welcome in. I'm gonna hit you with it right now. Can you talk, Luther? Or are you busy?
What's up, bro?
What's happening?
How long you been on?
Probably about, it looks like from 5:21. I think we got on right around 4 o'clock. So just a little over an hour and some change.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How was the weekend?
I'm here.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. And I like that hat, man. You know,
What you got going on? What you got going on?
Right now, you mean in regards to my trades or in regards to the training?
No, you finna ice me something. I don't know. What?
Oh yeah. I'm asking some things, but I want to tell you real quick. You just with the hat that you got on, you reminded me of my dad. My dad used to have his hat, and it had a pair of boobs on the top of it. And man, oh man, every place we went, bro, so many people would just like bust out laughing when they saw the boobs. You know, certain guys would come up and say, "Man, can I touch your hat, man?" And they'd go up there, squeeze on the boobs and all kind of stuff, man. But that was such an iconic hat for me. You know, I couldn't wait to like put it on and stuff like that. He wouldn't let me wear it, but man, when we went out and he wore that hat, it was just a really fun time to see like people's reaction and things like that. But that's what your hat reminded me of, bro. But that's crazy. Yeah. So what I'm asking everybody today is like, you know, have you marked up your chart over the weekend? And you know, if you haven't, is that something that you have been doing, you know, in the past, and maybe you just didn't do it this weekend? But have you marked up your charts this weekend?
Yeah, I just spent about 2 or 3 hours just doing it today, marking up.
Nice. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but I hope you guys heard what he said. 2 to 3 hours. Okay, marking up the charts. And again, when I talk about quality over quantity, right? I'm not telling you guys not to look at a lot of pairs, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys not to trade a lot of pairs, okay? Because I'm the same way. I'll probably spend a good 2 or 3 hours marking up every single chart that I'm interested in trading, right? But out of all of those markups, only 5 of them or only 4 of them are going to have that really good setup that's ready to go, right? So out of those 20, 30, 40, 50 pairs, whatever they may be, right? The quality ones only add up to about 4 or 5, right? So again, guys, another big tip on what Luther just said that you guys might want to get accustomed to is just spending some quality time marking up the charts, right? Now, you know, maybe you may not want it to be that long, but before you know it, guys, it'll be that long, right? You know what I'm saying? You'll lose track of time almost sometimes because you're wanting to get everything so marked up so nicely that, you know, you're not going to rush it, right? You know what I'm saying? But to be able to go through so many pairs and then mark out, you know, if you guys look on the chart right here, so right next to any pair, right, that you have in your watch list, you have this little bookmark thing right here where you can just, you know, mark it. Yeah, so you can just mark it, right? So out of all of these, I know that this is the one that I want to look at that has the best buying opportunity, right? This is the pair that is the one that has quality to it, right? So that's something that you guys can do, right? It's just mark, say, oh, okay, you know, I know, I don't think she's in here right now, but she mentioned that, you know, our dollar is her thing. It was it Tanya? Was that you with the our dollar and the euro dollar? I think it was.
Yes, it was.
So there you go, right? You know, and if she saw a good quality setup, right, all she has to do is mark this, you know, put a little mark on it, and that way she knows that that's the one that, you know, when the market opens, she wants to go back and take a look at. All right, so that's huge. Again, what Luther said, you know, spending that time. But all right, Luther, so you marked up the charts, right? You got your things ready to go. Now, do you see any really good setups, like ones that look like they have quality to them? Or you can either answer it that way, or you can just tell me what are your favorite pairs, like which pairs are your go-to pairs that, you know, you're always, you notice you're always trading or you're always looking to take a trade on.
Well, only thing I don't even be trading Forex. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I use the dollar. I always look at the dollar to trade tech stocks because I know it correlates.
Right.
So I want to see how the dollar operates according to that. Also, I just be looking at things to understand that try to keep myself focused on the high time frames and looking at how I can get in the trade, how opportunities I miss by not looking at the high time frame and understanding a supply zone that done broke down 4 hours and how far it breaks down once it breaks. It's just being patient and waiting on these certain trades to play out and notice how impatient I be. I'm just working on my entry and all that there, but I haven't been looking at the pairs and all that there, but I know the major ones you're talking about.
Right.
But I just still focus on the dollar, just seeing what it's doing and according to equities. But
gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. But again, guys, he dropped another bomb on you guys where, with Chris was touching on patience as well. Like he understands everything, but now when he gets to support or resistance, he's like, oh man, I don't see what I need to see. And now I got to wait, right? It's like, we don't want to wait, but we got to wait. We ain't got no choice. It's forcing you to wait because you don't see what you need to see, right? So Chris touched on the patience part, but now here it is. Luther turns around and he gives you guys the vision part of it all. Right. So you got to have the vision first from the higher time frames to even go down to the lower time frames to know when you're ready, when you have your entry ready for you, which more than likely is just going to put you in the state that Chris was talking about of being patient to see what you guys need to see. Guys, I keep telling y'all show up, man. Everybody contributing, everybody talking about their issues, their problems, their concerns, their worries, the things that they want to get a better understanding about. You guys will completely say, oh, snap. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Luther. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kev. Thank you, Toya. Thank you, everybody, because now you guys have made me stronger and I didn't even have to go through that stuff. But I peep game. I'm going to listen. I'm going to take these notes. I'm going to incorporate it and I'm going to see what's happening. Guys, I promise you, man, y'all put the work in. It is a wrap. It is a wrap. It is a wrap, guys. I'm trying to be humble about it, okay? But it is, it's man, it's something. All right, but big time, bro. So those are major keys, man. Major keys.
Yeah, and it has been me. I don't lost money because I'm sitting up here saying I'm gonna wait till I get to this level, this key level, and I get in on a little small level. I say, well, I get up, I say, and lose money on a time frame because I'm trying to be, Mr. Split.
You're trying to beat it.
Yeah,
you're trying to beat the confirmation. Yep.
Yeah, just getting in. I'll do that too. Getting in before a counter close below. And don't think I do just wait.
That's it. That's it, bro.
For real. That's what you saying. What they say, well, and I realize I'm impatient. That get me in trouble. I don't lie. Get me in trouble.
So there you go, guys. Again, Forex will force you guys to be patient and just have it to where if you're not, then it's gonna cost you, right? I'd rather be patient. I lost enough. Trust me, right? I'd rather just wait. How long I gotta wait? A week? Okay, I'm gonna wait a week then. You understand me? I know what the reward is. See, this is another part, right? We talk about losing. Everybody take L's, everybody keep losing. Nobody's really winning, right? The way they want to win. But once you start winning, right, and you see how you're winning, especially because you were patient, right? Especially because you understood psychology, analysts, market structure, all those things, because you understood those things, and then you start to win. When you see how those wins turn out, oh boy, yeah, you can forget about it. You ain't gonna turn back, right? You're gonna embrace every L you're gonna take going forward because you know that you've already kind of weaved out the reasons why you were taking L's. So now your L's they're not the same as your L's before. And I was just talking to my brother about this, but when I used to take L's, I would take big L's, right? I'll be down hundreds, maybe even thousands. But I noticed from those times till now, when I take my L's, I'm looking at my L's and it's showing me like chump change, right? You know what I'm saying? Like just a little nibble in a bite of a big sandwich or something like that. And I'm just like, wow, that's really crazy. Like I'm still losing, but I'm not losing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, it's just something about showing up and just doing it that, yeah, man, I can't really put words around. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I just know the things that are changing in my life. I know the way I'm able to maneuver this market. Again, guys, here's another little big one, right? I know that I can get into the Forex market and I can make money. I know that I can do that. There was once a time where I had no idea whether or not I can make money in the Forex market. Even when I started to understand certain things, I still had a little fear. I don't know if I can make money in the Forex market. Now I know I can make money in the Forex market. No if, and, or but about it, right? I know for a fact I can get in here and I can make money. It's not, I'm not at that stage anymore. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna win. I don't know if I'm gonna lose, whatever. I know I can make money. When you guys get to that level, again, that's gonna tell you guys everything that you need to know, right? And I'm really hoping to get you guys there. Just follow me. You know what I'm saying? Kimani, what's up? Anything you got? You want to tell me about again? I know you and Tori, kind of just in the mix with everything, but let me know if there's any things that you want to touch on.
No, I've been like running like peers, but my thing is I've been paper trading, but my problem is I've been taking my profit too like early. I don't give it time to swing.
Okay.
So I'll be up and see some money, and then I'll just move my stop loss like into break even into profit, and I'll be like taking my my money too early. So I'm working on swinging.
So can you see that the play the trade actually plays out even more in your favor, like after it's all said and done? Is that what you're noticing?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like you move your stop loss really quickly, or do you feel like you're not moving it quickly, but you're moving it too close to where you keep getting stomped out?
I think I put it too close. I don't get no room to breathe for a big pullback.
And try to lock in profits. Okay.
Yeah.
So we already know what your issue is and what you got to try to work on, which is giving it more time. All right. You took me off, boo-boo. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. So I said we recognize what your problem is, right? Where you have to let these trades ride out. So as the week comes, as we start trading this week, your homework, right? And again, you can do this at any point in time, but it's going to be once you decide, all right? But your homework is going to be to simply get into a good trade setup that you see and absolutely let it ride out untouched, completely untouched, not moving your stop loss, not moving your take profit, just letting it play out until it closes itself by hitting your stop loss or hitting your take profit. What this is going to do, Kimani, and I'm telling you, this is a transition, all right, from where you go, boom. This is a transition from where you go to understanding what patience is really all about. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because again, fear, for the most part, is what's causing you to move your stop loss so early, because your confidence isn't high enough, right? You may have confidence, but it's not high enough to keep you from moving that stop loss. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So just having that little bit of fear is making you move that stop loss, but then you're also having regret from having that fear, because when it's all said and done, you see that the trade is going significantly in your direction. You just didn't give it enough time. So the way to fix that, bro, is you have to give at least one trade. I don't care if you take 10 trades and you do them all the same way that you've been doing them, where you move your stop loss, whenever you feel like it. I need you to take one of those trades, one of the ones that looks really good, you think it's going to play out in your favor, and I need you to untouch it. So this trade could be open for years. You never know. But ultimately, what I want you to do is I want you to let that trade close out on its own, where it either hits your stop loss or it hits your take profit. When I tell you, okay, and again, I've done this numerous times. Each time I did it, do you know what I did after the trade was over with? I took the measurement tool like this, and I went from my entry down to where it hit my take profit, and I looked at the time frame. I looked at how long did it take for that to happen. And you want to know what the average time frame was? 2 days.
Okay.
2 days. Almost every time I did like a measurement like that, it took 2 days. Because guess what? That first day, again, sometimes things aren't moving. It's moving slow. Maybe you can see it going in your direction, but it's just like taking forever, right? And then, by the time 24 hours goes around, you're like, oh, damn, it's definitely not doing nothing. And this was supposed to be a day trade, so you're supposed to make your profit in that time. But then the next day comes out, and then guess what? That next day is a news day. And then, some news comes out, and now it sets it on fire. And even if it wasn't a news day, it just starts to move a little bit more during the next day. And then at some point, like maybe around 11 o'clock in the morning, it just shoots down and it starts taking off to the downside, and it hits your take profit. And you're like, holy shit. All I need to do is just really kind of be patient, give it a little bit more time. Sometimes it takes 3 days. Sometimes it takes 4. Sometimes it takes a week. But bro, what you're going to get, the lesson that you're going to get from doing this is that you're going to see that you are right. Just like you're seeing right now. You're seeing that you are right. But your problem or your issue is that you're moving your stop loss just a little prematurely. Just a little prematurely. That's it. Right? But now, what if you did not move your stop loss, bro? What would that have looked like? That is a chance that I am willing to take. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys? That is a scenario and a chance of what I'm willing to take. If I saw what you saw, and I saw, man, I moved my stop loss too early. This trade went tremendously in my favor. I would have had this much if I had only waited this much time. Okay, bet. Next trade that I get into and I see something similar to that, I'm not touching it. And I want to see if it does the same thing that it did to me previously or not. If it doesn't do it, oh, well, I'm going to chuck it up, right? But if it does do it, bro, watch your confidence shoot through the moon, bro. Watch your confidence shoot through the moon. And it'll almost be to the point where you'll never move your stop loss again, even though you can, right? You're just going to be like, I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna just get this thing another little day. Everything's still playing out in my favor. It still got the lower high, price is still going slowly down, boom, 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 right? You're just gonna be confident about it. You gonna drop. Oh yeah, you're gonna drop, right? And before you know it, it will drop. But patience, fear, all of those things are the things that trick you guys out your money. I'm sure each and every last one of you got a testimony for this Sunday about a trade that went in your direction, but somehow you still managed to lose it. I'm giving it to you guys, all right? And you guys are giving it to everyone else. But at some point, you gotta get past the talking. You got to do this, right? So again, Kimani, I'm saying this, and you're probably agreeing, but you still got to do it, right? And the day that you do it, then you'll be right here with me. You don't even have to call me, text me, say nothing. I'm gonna just telepathically, I'm gonna feel you, and I'm just gonna know, yeah, Kimani did that, and he understands what time it is now. You understand what I'm saying? So, big time for pointing that out and giving that that gem to everyone as well. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on and talk about, bro?
No, I'm good.
All right, sweet deal. All right, everybody. So we got it all in today. More motivational and what have you. If not today, then just structured lessons. But I know you guys know most about support and resistance, all that good jazz, right? I know you guys are past that, right? Now we gotta level up and get rid of these little psychological barriers, right? These easy issues that we can fix, right? Like super easy. And once that happens, again, guys, the sky's the limit, right? Everything changes after that. So shout out to everyone, for putting their issues and flaws, if you will, out for everybody to learn from it and to just try to get better at, because it means so much. It means so much.
What the dollar gonna do this week?
Say it again, Luke. I didn't hear you.
What you think the dollar gonna do this week?
Fall. I think it's gonna fall. Yeah. I mean, I know, I just think it's gonna fall, bro. Again, I'm going with the chart, right? Because I do have a play. I think I bought. No, I like sold the euro. I think I called that out for you guys. Like a sell on the euro USD, and it did start to fall because the dollar started to like try to break above here. But look at how the candle ended up, right? You know what I'm saying? But on the lower time frames, there was some candle that let me see it. Oh, I guess there really wasn't. Oh, maybe over here, but like at the lower time frame, like candles. So I got the higher low up in here, and then trying to catch it, just either kind of coming up to here, which it did, right? You know what I'm saying? But had called a sell on the euro USD, thinking that dollar was gonna go ahead and break above resistance, and I wanted to call that just to take advantage of if it did. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because again, there is a structure up to this side that even if it moves up to just this much, that's still almost $1 move on the dollar, which is huge, which would have probably given us like 20 to 50 pips on the euro USD falling. And the euro USD, it did fall a little bit and do all that, but it didn't go like the dollar didn't really break above like I expected it to at that time. So that was sometime at the end of last week. But from a charting standpoint, I have what they call a drop base drop, right? And now we've gotten back to this resistance level where we had a bit of a drop here, but it was just short-lived. So we're coming back, grabbing liquidity from this resistance area and potentially going to fall, because this is a confluence area of horizontal resistance as well as the resistance of this rising wedge, and of course the rising wedge being a bearish reversal pattern. So again, I've just always noticed, bro, when I go with the charts, I feel way better, and 9 times out of 10 it plays out with what the chart is giving me, right? Can it go up? Yes, it can, right? We got plenty of news this week, guys. I think Wednesday is the day that we start to rock and roll here. Yeah, so nothing Monday, nothing Tuesday. All right, Wednesday we got CPI, that's huge. You guys know that. In the afternoon we got the Fed meeting, right? Thursday we got core PPI and unemployment, and then Friday we got core retail sales and this prelim consumer sentiment, whatever that is. So we're gonna have a rocking and rolling kind of week with the dollar once Wednesday rolls around. So and knowing that, again, I know that any one of those economic events can cause the dollar to rise and potentially get to this order block. But if I weren't, if there was no news and I just had to go off of what the chart is giving me, then I would be, selling, or I'll be looking for the dollar to fall. And then the ironic part, which I told you guys earlier, is a lot of times the chart already tells you what's going to happen, but then the news comes out and it just sets it on fire, bro. So I'm already, if let's just say news comes out and then the dollar tanks, well, guess what? I'm just be like, well, I was already on that side anyway. So it wasn't really that I needed to know what was happening in the news. I just needed to read the chart, right? So that's how I'm looking at the dollar, bro. Definitely expecting it to fall this week. Oh man, you hopped out. All right. But yeah, guys, any other questions, any other concerns, anything else?
Hey, Bain?
Yeah, what's going on?
All right. Can you go back to the US 30 chart that you marked up? I was just wondering if you could just, I was just wondering if you can just explain where explain where you would put your sell buy-ins, just the overall order that you have on the screen, so that I can understand your thinking here.
Gotcha. No worries. Hold on. All right. So again, here from the higher time frame, really quick, I'll break this all down. So this is the 4 hour, and guys, this is almost like gold a little bit in the fact that it has a cup and handle here. Okay, that's what it that's the pattern that is developed over this long period of time. But in a cup and handle pattern like that is a bullish chart pattern. So what's expected is for price to break above this resistance, even this one, and just continue to rise. So how far it's supposed to go up here is how far this is, right? So whatever this is, if I do a little quick measurement, all right, so from here, oh, wait a minute. All right, that is a $1,000, almost a $2,000 move on the NAS. So if I go from where price happens to be right now, which is about 33546, 2,000 would be 35546. All right, so 35546 is about right here in this area. So that's where it'll be expected to go as it rises up. But here's the thing, right? I'm going off of a higher time frame, the 4 hour chart. So if I really do expect the US 30 to go up, because of this chart pattern, I will be a swing trader. So that means that this trade would have to take more than a week for it to play out and be in my favor, right? So I would have a position like this where I'm in for a buy right now, but my stop loss is all the way down here, which is a $230 move, all right, off a micro lot, that is, all right? That's a $230 stop loss. And then, you know, aiming for my, oh, wait a minute. And then aiming for my 1 to 2 would give me right about there. All right, and that'll give me $491 move, but that will be a swing trade. Again, not something that I'm expecting to make right away. All right, but because I'm not looking at this from a swing trader's perspective, right, I'm looking at this from a intraday, right, like a day trader's perspective. So looking at this on the 1 hour, and I come in, take a look. I remember, right, US 30 rising like this, and now what's happening, right? I'm just reading market structure, and I realized that this was the highest point that we made, and since then we haven't gotten back up to this high point. So we've already failed to make higher highs. Are you with me? So my whole bias in regards to that uptrend is now changed. So here we got that little break of trend line, you know, somewhere right here. All right. And now our structure is changed where we made a lower low, breaking this low. All right. And then we made a lower high. So from here, this is a lower high. Now the highs are getting a little higher, right? Just a little, but they're still not getting past the major swing high, right? And it's just evident that, you know, that the price action is staying below that high. And now that we're at a level of resistance, because again, this was where it broke, right, structure, and then came and started making all the new lows. But because we're up against resistance, this is telling me, especially with that wick, again, a wick at the top of the candle shows rejection of buyers. Okay, so it's rejecting the trend line, rejecting the resistance, and just showing you a nice large wick on the candle. All of that reads down or going down. Okay, and then of course with the trend change from this major uptrend to now forming this nice rising channel, right? It's just all kind of, you know, indications of it falling, right? So I really would prefer, obviously, to see the bears finally show up, and I'm definitely going to pull the trigger. I'm already in the sell, right? But I would definitely pull the trigger from here again to just kind of make up for my losses, you know, on the way down. But there's not a whole lot to tell me to buy other than the dollar looking like it's about to fall. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I do the comparison, bro, and I'm always doing this, I'm assessing what is in my basket that's telling me to buy, or what's on my checklist that's telling me to buy versus what's on my checklist telling me to sell. I'm always going to go with whatever has more check marks in my box, right, or in my boxes, right, for whichever side. That's what I've learned has kept me from like tripping out, right? Because let me just give you an example. If I took the buy and then this thing tanks to the floor, my face would be red, bro. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I would be so frustrated because I knew.
You knew not to, basically.
I knew not to. You understand what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying that price won't go up. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if it does go up, I'm just going to say, okay, I didn't see that coming, right? You know what I mean? And like that's maybe the dollar was just maybe the news that came out for the dollar. It really caused the dollar to tank, and the US 30 had no choice but to rise from the correlation standpoint. But I'm just going to chuck that up, right? I'm not going to be mad about that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely going to be mad if I don't take that sell and then it tanks. I'm going to be so pissed. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things that told me to sell. So that's how I always, you know, go about my analyzing when I'm getting into a particular trade. But again, I set my oh no, I didn't set a sell stop on this because again, like I was already in it. But I would set a sell stop right here, right below this candle. All right. So if I come down to like maybe let's look at the 30-minute. Okay, still not seeing anything, and I don't think it's going to be open for now. But 15-minute. Yeah, I don't see the timer. All right, 5-minute. Okay, and then 1 minute. Okay, so look what I got here, and this is why you go and you get into the detail. So right here, I got a nice little trend line, and boom. So bro, my sell stop would go right here. Boom, right there below this low. Because by that time, we broken structure here, we broken the trend line, we broken structure here, which happens to be a high. Okay, that's a little higher low, right? So we broke that. So knowing that we've broken this from this resistance level of the trend line of the horizontal resistance zone, it being a upward a rising channel, that's a bullish, a bearish reversal pattern. It maintained those lower lows from the higher time frame. Everything is lining up now with everything from the higher time frame, and that's where I would kind of have that sell stop. So around that 33,500, right? 33,500 area is where I would have a sell stop order, and I would be happy as I don't know what with having that, right? You understand what I'm saying? Because it just lines up, right? That's what I'm always looking for, right? The probability of what I got going on. Put my stop above that wick because I know it's a dirty game, right? And then I'll come back out to the higher time frame to look at where I want to put my take profit. Okay, and my take profit will basically go to this support area right here. So let me see where it's at. It's all the way down there. All right, so I'll take it and I'll drag it to right there, just a little bit above support. So now let me go like to the 1 hour. Okay, so right here, and then if I look at it, oh, I got my stop loss way. That's not what I wanted. So right above the wick, somewhere right there, and I don't have a 1 and 2, but I like it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Again, it's always, you know, it's nothing we do is really set in stone. It's just it's a benchmark, right? It's something to go off of, but you can always switch it up however you want to. I'm always aiming for a 1 to 2. You can always aim for a 1 to 3. Shoot, you can aim for a 1 to 1 if you feel comfortable enough with the trade, right? It's up to you. But there's a method to my madness, right? Having a 1 to 2 obviously is better than a 1 to 1. Having a 1 to 3 is obviously better than a 1 to 2. But it's all about how you see the trade. You know what I'm saying? This is how I see it. I see it stopping at this order block because that's what it's done previously. But who knows? News could cause this thing to blast past this support, and somebody who had a 1 to 3 is going to make more money than I would have at my 1 to 2. Again, bro, everything's, you know, it's up in the air. But this is, you know, how I would place that sell stop. And then for a buy, again, I'll have my right where I have it right here, like up here somewhere is probably where I would put that. Let me see where it has my stop loss all the way down here. So really, then I'll place it like right here, and then this is probably a 1 to 2 here, and 1 to 9, so just up a little bit, and boom, there's my 1 to 2. But let me tell you why I would do this. So again, there's resistance, right? That high is still a high that needs to be broken in order for price to have a change, right, in structure, or a break of structure rather, to the upside. And if you have the break of structure, then typically you get the pullback and the continuation to the upside. But because that's a major resistance area, I need to see price above that. You understand what I'm saying? And then, of course, if it will pull back, which typically it will do at some point, so it breaks above, now it has a couple of things. It can pull back to here and then take off, right? It can also pull back to somewhere, you know, maybe some gap or some zone that's right here and then take off, or it can come all the way back right here, touching on the wedge, and then take off. So that's why my stop loss is below that area. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm giving myself enough room to breathe as far as a retracement or a pullback is concerned once price gets above this high. That's why my buy stop is up here in this area, right? Of course, I can put it higher and whatnot, but when you're buying, right, you want to buy it low. You don't want to buy it high, all right? So you buy low and you sell high, but in regards for the buy, this is what, you know, you want to kind of view to see, you know, how to go about placing your buy order. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, sweet.
Earlier mentioned also that you know, you expect the dollar to fall. So if the dollar, you know, so I'm basically kind of trying to tie into this, but you know, but you know, why would you expect the US 30 to fall if the dollar, you know, might fall also? Isn't it usually the inverse?
That is correct. I'm glad you asked that question. Here's the answer: because of what the chart shows me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I tell you guys, I was touching on this a little earlier, but I was saying there's so many times that people are caught up in the correlation, bro. And if you look through the chart, I mean, if you look through the chat, you'll see that there's times where people have posted, "Hey man, what the heck is going on with gold? The dollar is falling, but gold is also falling."
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you've gotten your first taste of how the pairs are not always correlated. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you've experienced that one time, that's all you need to know to say to yourself, okay, this is a possibility that it can happen again at some point in the future. So what do? You have to decide, what are you going to go off of? Are you going to go off the correlation, which you see at some point may not have the correlation, or are you going to go off of the chart, which if you did the first time, you would have saw that price of gold was going to fall because it was already showing you that. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. So for me, I'm always going to go with the chart, bro. With whatever the chart shows. I don't care what that correlation between the dollar and the US 30 was, unless US 30 is making uptrend structure and it looks like it's getting ready to shoot up, then I'm going to put the correlation together. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's the only time I'm going to do that. But if the US 30 isn't aligning with the dollar falling, like the US 30 also looks like it's going to fall, bro, I'm taking that too. I'm taking that as is. And again, because I do these kind of things, I get to see what's what. So I get to say, okay, I took what the chart gave me, even though the correlation didn't line up, and I see that I won it. So clearly the chart is more dominant than the correlation. And I just run with it, bro. That's what does it for me. What I see happens on the chart after I analyze it, and then after I play it, and then after I see what happens, those are the top 3 keys to becoming a better trader. And what I be trying to get out to you guys: show up, mark up the chart, take the trade, see what happens afterwards. Let things play out. This is the only way you're going to know if it works or not. It's the only way. So that's the answer to your question: why I would take a sell on the US 30, even though I see that the dollar looks like it's going to fall.
And you're right, Bain, because that thing can be very obvious. You got all these correlations, and your mind will tell you you're not seeing what the hell you seeing on these charts.
Yes.
That'd be the craziest thing.
Yes.
I saw.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw this head and shoulder on QQQ Friday. I saw it. My mind would not compute that what you were seeing, an inverse head and shoulder. My mind would not let me compute what I was seeing. And I'm like, I'm looking at this. Well, I see it, but my mind is not saying, hey man, pull the trigger. It's there, put your trend line there. It about and sometimes people get so caught in a trend line break, but they don't know that a trend line can be also support too to an area too.
That's right.
And man, you so right on, man. You can, because the dollar is not moving, but the chart telling you, but the chart you're watching telling you something else. You got to take that. You got to take what it's saying.
That's
the
right.
Sky is blue. The sky is blue. The sky is blue. How the hell I come up with the sky is red? You know, yeah.
Bro, you waiting on that dollar. Bro, you waiting on that dollar. Let me mute you for a second.
Go ahead.
But yeah, waiting on that dollar while you seeing that US 30, that NAS, that gold, that oil, that whatever, you see what it's giving you. But because you're trying to keep the correlation together and you're looking at the dollar and the dollar ain't doing a damn thing, it's just playing around with your emotions. So you're just like, okay, because the dollar's not moving, I'm not taking advantage of this. And you live to regret it. And that's so unfortunate because you saw it the whole time. Just like you're saying, sky's blue, sky's blue, sky's blue. Why the hell did I go for the red and et cetera, et cetera? Like I say, guys, that's what really pisses me off. And I'm hardly pissed off, just to be honest with you. But the times that I am, it's just because I did that one thing that I always know I should not have did. I went against what the chart showed me, right? Just because I felt like it. And then I got burnt. And then I'm pissed because I'm like, oh, I was there. I saw the sell. I still took the buy. What's wrong with me, right? Guys, those should only happen once in a blue moon, if not ever. I mean, if never, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys need to test this out. Test going in the direction of the trend for a little while. Just test it out. See how that plays out, guys. 99.9% of the time, in my opinion, all right, is that you will see it's going to play out how it may not happen right away, right? You may get another little push up, right? But then eventually you'll see this big push down and you would have known that you were right. Now you just got to tweak a few things where you put your stop loss, how much you risk, when you entered it, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, you clean it up and then you just start to go crazy because you know what it is. All right, guys. So please go with the chart. Chart is king. You use the correlation when you can, right? When it matches up. Okay, go with the correlation in that regard. But again, Chris, man, this is why I'm going to be looking to short US 30, even though I know that news could cause it to still rise, even though I know that if the dollar falls significantly for whatever reason, maybe it's not news, maybe it just falls because of market structure. Okay. And I know that the US 30 could rise. Again, I'm just going to see when I can take advantage of that opportunity. But as of right now, I'm not just going to change my bias with what the chart is giving me just because I know, the dollar's looking like it's going to fall. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? This looks bearish. I'm going to take a sell. That's how that goes, bro.
Makes sense. Thank you.
No worries. So anything else? Anybody? Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, guys, going once, going twice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here again, guys. I appreciate the love today. This was major. And this was a huge one that a lot of people need to watch and review and listen to and pull these gems out of. All right. But it was all thanks to you guys. So again, appreciate you guys rocking with me. You can unmute. Somebody help Toya out. Chris, Kimani, if you guys are in there with her, see if she can either come to your computer or something. I don't know. But I want to hear what she has to say. Do you know where I can find Henko trade tutorial? Oh, okay. So I meant to respond to you. Okay, yes, I meant to respond to you about that. So the MT4 tutorial that's in my Discord that when you guys go and look at the MT4 tutorial, that MT4 tutorial is for any broker that you may be having to use, even though in the tutorial, they're not using Henko Trade or any other broker. They're using like FX, which is they're their own broker, etc. They're doing the tutorial from their brokerage account, but everything that they're showing you applies to whatever broker you may have. So I checked YouTube, but no luck. Yeah, you're not going to find, well, I can't say you're not going to find it, but Henko Trade, I know that Henko Trade has not made a playlist or a tutorial of videos showing how to use MT4 because they know that that's not their baby, right? They didn't create MT4, right? They're utilizing MT4, right? Because their broker, they allow you to trade the Forex market, but they're utilizing the MT4 platform for you to be able to trade your account with them off of. So it's not their baby, right? So they can't really give you, they're like you and me. They don't really know MT4 in and out like that. You know what I'm saying? But they know that's where you need to go to place your trades, right? So the tutorial that you'll see in the Discord is really all you need, Toya. It'll tell you how to create orders, how to pull up charts, how to, mark up the charts, how to close orders, how to modify them, how to do all the little things that you're going to need to know how to do with an MT4 with your Henko Trade account, but it's just not going to be for Henko Trade, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a generic thing with navigating this MT4 application that applies across the board, no matter who your broker may happen to be. So I know, where you're trying to go with that, where you wanted to see specifically, hey, somebody plug in their Henko Trade account and then teach me about this MT4 in terms of how it may go with Henko Trade. It's not like that. It's not geared to Henko Trade. You can put Joe Smo broker in there and everything is still going to apply. So is that making any sense? If you can hear me or talk or text.
Wait, so how do you? Okay, so I signed up for it on Friday, but
Okay.
But I was able to go to the I think it had options for like MT4, MT5,
Right.
and, and basically the web terminal. So I tried like the web terminal, and and basically I saw the the buy and sell. When I pressed either one, I saw a box that came up. It looks like I would it looks like I would have to put in units, just like just like when
Henko Trade. I mean,
Oanda.
Oanda, yeah.
Yeah. are in TradingView.
Right.
But yeah. But when it comes to like when it says like take profit, and when it goes to like like stop loss, like I wasn't sure if like I put in the numbers, like let's say if I wanted to do like a 50 to 100, or because it was just like 0.0. So I wasn't sure if I just put in the
the decimal format or the unit format.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I wanted to know. Just just kind of
you put in the decimal format. So when you're looking at because you got to one thing I forgot to mention is you probably noticed already, but the web version of MT4 does not have the same functionality as the desktop version of MT4. So things that you can do on the desktop you can't really do on the web. All right. So when you're placing a trade, like if you hit sell and like you see that you're in it, like on the screen it shows units, right? Like how it does here on TradingView, it shows units. But in the actual order window or the trade window, you see the lot size as the decimal sizes, or I'm sorry, your stop loss and your take profit numbers are the regular decimal numbers. Then you got to put it in, that way, the same way you would, always do. But then if you, like, because you can't really change the lot size once you're in the trade on MT4, you can add another trade, but you can't change it. Like if you were in a standard lot, you can't just close half of it. I don't know, you kind of could, but on the MT4 desktop, but not on the web version. So really all I'm saying is that when you're putting in your lot size on the web, you probably have to put it in units. I haven't used it in a long time, so I can't remember for sure, but I can go back and check. But you probably have to put it in the units format. So $1,000 for a micro, 10,000 for a mini, 100,000 for a standard. It's probably how you have to put it in. But as far as like when you get into the trade and then you see where you can modify the trade to put in your stop loss and your take profit, those are just going to be the regular numbers of whatever pair you happen to be on. And then your lot size, you can't really change it from the web version at that point. But it's the web, guys. You should use the web like when you really don't have you're on a new computer, right? You didn't install MT4 on it, or maybe on somebody else's computer. Those are the scenarios like where you want to use the web version, right? Or maybe you're on a device that only has access to a web browser, right? You don't have like an operating system on it and blah blah blah, right? It could be a tablet, phone, a watch, a car, or whatever, right? You don't really know, but you just have access to the web, and you're trying to get in some trading. That's where you want to use the web version of like Henko Trade or any other broker. But if you can help it, use the desktop version of MT4, because the tutorials that's in the Discord, that's what those tutorials are based off of, the desktop version, not the web version. That way you guys can really see all the things that you're capable of doing, and you'll be able to do them, because you're using the desktop version. So hopefully that answers it for you, Chris.
Okay, so so the trade that I'm seeing right now, the one with the US 30.
Okay.
Is that TradingView?
Yeah, it's TradingView.
Okay, so are you able to link your Henko Trade without TradingView?
No, but I do want to say, I'm glad you pointed that out. You can't link Henko Trade because they're not integrated yet. So they haven't patched up the API, the programming interface to Henko Trade. But one of the things that I wanted to mention with what you just mentioned is that TradingView is going crazy, all right, in regards to the amount of brokers that they support now. All right, so here, you guys take a screenshot of this or whatever you got to do, but you can just come here and go to the brokers page. Guys, I remember when I was with TradingView, like they just had like 3 options. It was just like 3 brokers here. I know for sure it had Forex.com, it had the paper trading, and I want to say like probably TradeStation. So it's just like these 3 that were here. And then I started noticing they got a Wanda, and then they started getting Gemini and like some other ones, Ali, I'm familiar with, right? I know like those started popping up, and now look at all these brokers and places that they have. Like this is huge. All right. So I wouldn't be surprised if Henko Trade pops up here one day, but as of right now, it's not there yet. So you can't plug it in.
Okay. Because it looks like you're let's see. It looks like you're doing US 30, in TradingView. That's what I see.
Yeah, but again, I'm mainly just so you guys know, I'm mainly only using TradingView to mark up my charts, and I'm just doing demo trades on TradingView as I'm marking up the charts. But yeah, I'm using MT4 like on my phone and on my desktop and things like that. I'm using MT4 to take the trades that I actually want to take, because again, I'm giving you guys multiple trades so that you can kind of pick which one you want, right, out of the number, however many number I call. But for me, I'm usually looking for the best one, because I know what time it is, right? So when I'm finally found, the one that I really want, I'm taking that on my MT4, and I'm either taking it with magic keys. If I happen not to take it with magic keys for whatever reason, like maybe I'm just on my phone, I'm busy, and I just happen to take it on my phone really quick, I just make sure that I got my stop loss set, and that's it. I let it go until I can come back and view charts and do all that and make my adjustments if necessary. But no, I really trade on MT4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, bro. No
worries. So guys, that'll do it for our session. Again, I'll send this out as soon as it's available. But again, guys, thank you for your time, and thank you for rocking with me. You guys want to get like a sensei, then you know you gotta come and swing my way. And if you wanna fast forward, hit replay.